Hey guys, welcome to Youth Online half-term edition. Very excited to have you here. As you can see, we've swapped our usual indoor surroundings for the beautiful outdoors. Guys, let's give Aberdeen a hand. This is pretty exciting. As you may have realised, this is not live. How could it be live if I'm outside holding the camera in the middle of a field? For the next 3 weeks, we're going to have Youth Online, just slightly different. All the same great stuff that you know and love, but it's just going to be a bit more of a relaxed kind of vibe, a bit of a shorter time. We are still going to have live chat. We want to connect with you guys, want to hear what you've been up to, how your week's been, what's been going well, what you're up to in half term. So our leaders are on the chat right now, and it's going to be a good night. I'm excited. So what have we got round the corner? Well, first thing to say, if you haven't heard this news already, where have you been? You've been missing out. But United is making a return. So that means we're all going to be gathered together for the first time since lockdown, physically in one place, and that's going to be at our Gilcomston Park building on the 3rd of November. There's going to be a few more details to come over the next wee while, but we're super excited about that. We'd love to see you there. We'll let you know the details of how you can sign up. There are going to be limited spaces, so if you want to be there, make sure you get in quick. We'd love to see you. So, more details for that coming soon. Now, the plan tonight is we're going to have a little bit of chat, a little bit of a talk, but before we get there, I mean, it wouldn't be Youth Online without a wee game. Let's spice things up a little bit. So, what's the game? The game is Challenge Dave. What's going to happen? Some letters are going to come up on screen, and you have 60 seconds to make as many words as you can out of those letters. And the challenge, can you beat me? I'm going to be doing it at the same time. Let's see how many I get. So I'm going to hit my timer, and we're going to go 3, 2, 1, go. Challenge over. Okay, how many words did you manage to get? So, no idea who won that there. Hard to tell, but well done, whoever got the most. And if you managed to get more than me, probably wasn't that hard. Extra well done. Well done. There's no prize as such, but boy, you can feel real smug about yourself. Good job. Okay, so on to the plan for tonight. What are we going to be doing? We're going to be hearing from the legend that is Susie from the DTI team. DTI is dreaming the impossible. If you were around over summer and you connected with some of the stuff they were doing online, it was flipping amazing. But it's a summer festival that happens every year, and plan is we're going to be there next year. COVID dependent, we'll see what happens, but we're very excited for them. Susie's an absolute legend, and this is a talk that she did at DTI from last year. It's absolutely amazing. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be taking little parts out of this talk and chatting about it. So over to you, Susie.
My name is Suze, and I head up DTI with a team of amazing people. And we're talking this weekend all about what it looks like to be known, aren't we? And I told you a bit about me last night, but I think it's time for us to go a little bit deeper. Is that okay? And I want to start off by sharing something a little bit vulnerable with you, okay? And so I'd really rather it stays in this room. Is that okay? Can I trust you? Yeah, I can trust you. Okay. This is it. I'm going to go for it. Guys, this is the thing you need to know about me. Is that I'm actually a bit of a loser. Okay? Whoa. Steady. Not in life, but when it comes to stuff. I lose things all the time. Does anybody else ever lose anything? You're a loser. Yes, I'm not alone. Okay, who lost their torch last night? Yeah, it's annoying, right? Who's ever lost their phone? Yeah, that's like the most annoying one. But it's so annoying when you lose something that you actually really, really like. And for me, one of the things I really, really like doing, I said last night, is I love going on holiday. So me and my passport, we're kind of like best mates, you know? And so you would think that I would keep my passport somewhere locked up. But I don't, and I lose it. And I've lost it a couple of times. The first time I lost it, I nearly missed going on a family holiday. And the second time, I was actually in India. And it was a quite slightly stressful situation. Has anybody ever been to India? Some of you. Okay, India, if you haven't been there, is one of the most amazing places I've ever been. The people are amazing, but the roads, they are crazy, right? There are cows everywhere. I'm talking, you know, like on the motorway, there's cows, just a random cow in the middle of the motorway. There's maybe 3 cows just up the road. There's cows everywhere, and people they drive where they want. And they're like, with their horns. So anyway, I was already thinking that I'm going to die on this 4-hour journey. 2 hours into it, I realise I've lost my bag. And in my bag is all sorts of things. We've got the pom bears are in there. Obviously, I can kind of do without those. But my wallet's in there. My money's in there, my iPad is in there, and worst of all, my passport is in there. And if I do not find this passport, I am going to get stuck in India on my own with the cows. Okay, so it was stressful, a very stressful situation. So what happened is this Indian-style search party began. All these people were like, blah, blah, they were like calling each other, trying to find my passport, and it was 2 hours away where I'd left it. And so what happened was, after all these phone calls, we did a UE, we dodged death a few times, and literally we did. And we get to the point where this guy called Raj, okay, he's got my passport in the bag. He's coming along on the motorway in India, interesting experience. He's coming along like this, on this little scooter thing, coming along. I'm there. I'm like, whoa, stop. We stop him. He pulls over on the side. He gets off his moped. I throw my arms around him and I tell him I love him. I was so happy to see my passport. And he says to me, now, Susie, you remember me when you're in England. So today, thank you, Raj, for finding the passport. But you know what? There's some stories in the Bible about people who lost things. These are stories, guys, that Jesus told, and they were in a book in the Bible called Luke. And some of you might have read these stories before: the lost sheep, the lost coin, the lost son. Anyone familiar with those? Yeah? So these stories are called parables, okay? And they're stories that Jesus told, lots in the Bible, to help us to understand truths about him and about his kingdom. So we're in a book called Luke here in chapter 15, and what's going on is that Jesus he's getting loads and loads of attention, and crowds are gathering towards him. All sorts of people are coming towards him. He's seeing people get healed and set free. But these guys, called the Pharisees, they were like the religious authorities of the time. They didn't like it. You know, they were jealous of Jesus. They thought, they were questioning who Jesus was hanging out with. And so Jesus, he tells these stories, and he's challenging the Pharisees. He's saying, although you're trying your best to follow God, somewhere along the way, you've lost sight of what God really cares about most. And Jesus responds by telling these 3 stories. And to mix it up a little bit, I've hired an expert reader to come and read it. So why don't we welcome Sarah? Yes, Sarah, they love you. Great. So Sarah is a great reader, and she's going to read it.
Great. Okay, guys, so we're in Luke 15, and this first story is about a lost sheep. Now, the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." But then Jesus told them this parable. "Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the open country and go after that lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. And then he calls his friends and his neighbors together and says, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my lost sheep.' I tell you that in the same way, there will be more rejoicing in heaven over the one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who do not need to repent." Okay, guys, and then this second story is about a lost coin. Or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Doesn't she light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and her neighbors together and says, "Rejoice with me, for I have found my lost coin." In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over that one sinner who repents. And finally, guys, this last story is about a lost son. And so Jesus continued. There was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had and set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. So when he came to his senses, he said, "How many of my hired servants have food to spare, and yet here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and now he is alive. He was lost and now he is found.' And so they began to celebrate."
Great. So there are 3 stories in the Bible, 3 lost situations: the lost sheep, the lost son, and the lost coin. And Jesus tells those stories together, right? He tells them together on purpose because he uses them to make the same point over and over again. He's like, here's a story. If you don't get it with this story, bam, here's another one. And he's like, if you don't get it then, here's another one. He tells 3 stories together. So what's the truth that Jesus is trying to get across to us? Well, let's just have a think about it. Has anybody here ever lost anything that you actually don't really like? Has that ever happened? Like, maybe like, I guess like a jumper like your grandma bought you or something, or knitted you, or your old trainers that are a little bit smelly, and you kind of think, if I lose them, perhaps your mum or your dad or somebody will buy me a new pair. Has anyone ever had that situation? Yeah. In that moment, do you get up and look for that thing? No. Okay? You're just a little bit happy, maybe, that they're lost because you don't really like them. But the thing that you've lost, that you love, that you really like your phone, if you lose your phone, you are searching for it, you're searching for it, you're searching for it because you really, really like your phone. And that's the truth that I reckon Jesus is trying to get across to us in these stories. That when he really, really likes something, that he will search for it until it is found. Guys, God really, really, really likes you. So much that he searches for you and he comes looking for you until he finds you. And when he finds you, he throws a party, he celebrates. He's the ultimate finder. He's not a loser like me with a passport. He's a finder. The sheep, the coin, the son, they get found. And he's the ultimate finder because he loves people. God really, really loves people. He loves me. He loves every single one of you. And he doesn't only love you, but he really actually likes you. And if you're taking notes this morning, I'd love you to write this down. God likes me with a massive full stop on it. Because knowing this stuff and getting our heads around it, accepting it in our hearts, it changes everything. It's a game changer for all of us, whatever place you are in this morning, however hot you're feeling right now, in the physical kind of sense, whether you know Jesus already, whether you don't and you've got heaps of questions, whatever you think about yourself, it's good news for you this weekend, because God knows everything about you. He knows all those insecurities and hang-ups you've got. He knows the way you feel about yourself. He knows every thought, everything you've ever said or done, the stuff you're proud of, the stuff you're not. He knows it all. You're fully known, as we said last night. And God likes you. He really, really likes you. And I really believe that God is wanting you guys to hear that this morning.
So guys, that was the first of 2 talks we're going to be doing called God Likes You. Next, we've got some questions that are going to come up on the screen. Feel free to screenshot if you're watching this on your phone, or take a picture if you're on your laptop. And yeah, just chew over these over the next week. Have an amazing week, guys. See you next Tuesday for the next one. Bye.